were so blurred in the 80s, and that was the beauty of it. I mean, you know, no matter what scene you went to, you know, no one cared if it was a gay club, you know, a straight club, a rock club, a this club, a that club. Everyone did this. And that, once again, was the beauty. It was the gift, you know? And that's what made it so special.
Some of the first bands that I saw here were the Restraints and the Producers, Swimming Pool Cues, the Brains, you know, a lot of new wavers, a lot of punk rockers, and straight, like satellite rock and rollers. The sound was explosive, the energy was fantastic, just kinetic energy.
This was more than just about pop music. This was a period of cultural importance for this area.
Midtown was having some little festival, and somebody said, "You need to go see this band that's playing there." And I said, "Who's the band?" And they said, "It's the Nightporters. It's these kids from suburbia, but they're really good." And so I said, "Okay." I'll walk down there, and they were all very young at that time. I mean, I don't think they played more than 5 or 6 gigs, you know. The energy that they had and the songs that they had written, to me, were like, you know, this isn't like anything I've heard. You know, this is like a mini Clash in Atlanta, you know, these young kids. And I got very excited about it. So we told them, you know, would you want to play at one of our openings? So they played at our second opening. And as it went on, they basically became our house band in a sense, because they were involved with the arts and the music, and found out that a lot of them had moved to Pershing Point.
It was just a great artistic scene. That's not including just bands, but artists, dancers, and just all kinds of different art coming at you left and right, night and day, especially where we were in Pershing Point. It was ground zero for, you know, an explosive energy scene.
You know, they played, and I think they played just about every opening we had in one form or another. I mean, we threw other people in there at the end, Arms Akimbo, and then when the Nightporters had dissolved, Driving and Crying played our last show. But it was an exciting time, it really was.
Dominate your majesty, I tried your quiet vanity. Dominate your cigarettes, and fingers touch your travesty. Play time with brave things, you rush to shore and fade away. Dominate, you are my weakness,
The Restraints, you know, were sort of like Atlanta's like cliche sort of punk rock band, a little of everything, you know. The Damned mixed with street attitude of New York, but it was always done with a sense of humor. I mean, the thing about the Restraints were they tried to always come off menacing and like really badass guys, but there was sort of like a funny, cartoonish element to it as well too. I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's just, you know, I mean, Wacka Wacka, you know, Cancer Dancer, Be a Nun, you know, I mean, there was, and I think that kind of sense of humor was in a lot of Atlanta type bands a little bit. It was a bit of tongue in cheek.
I had a 57 Chevy, so I would have to drive Chris to the front door of 688 because he wanted to be seen in the 57 Chevy. And Chris was always getting me to do little things for him, which I like Chris, so I'd do it for him. And one time he said, "Hey, Clark, I need to go sell some of my leather." He made leather goods. You know, he was kind of blind as a bat, but he made these little leather goods. And we went to Bulldogs one night, unbeknownst to me. He said, "I just got to take these over someplace." And so, you know, we get in the car and go over, and all of a sudden we're at Bulldogs, and I'm going, "Chris, what is this place?" "It's a lot of gays, but they're really nice guys. They buy my stuff, and it's okay, you know." So, you know, Chris was always interesting, always interesting.
I got a call from Spencer Thornton, who had gotten some notoriety for making this parody of Roots called Boots at I think it was at Georgia State. He wanted to do something with us, and we got together. So we got like like 6 to 8 hours. Let's do it. So we got together like at the spur of the moment. He had the cameras. He had some guys from Channel 2, I believe it was, operating the cameras, which they had requisitioned temporarily from the station. And so we went around to various churches filming there until the preachers would come out screaming at us and make us leave.
When it came to judgment day, they sent me straight to hell for the dirty game I play. Can it be enough too fun to fun? Can it be enough too fun to fun? Can it be enough too fun to fun?
Let's take the Brains. This is a band that put out, they were the first band from our world to get a major label deal with Mercury. Tom Gray was the main songwriter. He was a great musician who had an electronic sensibility, whereas most of the groups that we were part of were guitar bands. This was the kind of talent that the area had in its underground.
Dancing Under Streetlights was on the EP that we did on the Landslide label. That came out in '82. At that time, MTV was just getting started, so it was a little more wide open at that time. A small label could get a video on there. They were hungry for material. A guy named Spencer Thornton directed the video. We shot the band playing in an empty house. This woman, Rose Lynn, who was the Rose of Roses Cantina, owned a house over on, I forget, Greenwood or St. Charles, but over there in the Virginia Highland area. And it was sitting vacant, so we just went in there and shot the video of the band playing in the empty house. But Spencer said, well, this isn't enough, we need more. So I had the idea of getting out and riding a bus. We just caught the number 23 Peachtree and rode on the bus with out to Oglethorpe, and where they parked the bus, and the driver went off and said, just shoot whatever you want, don't tell me about it because you're not supposed to do this. The most fun part was shoot it down to 688. We were able to get a permit with the city to close off Spring Street down there. This is Spring Street just north of North Avenue. Closed it off, I think, between 2 and 4 a.m. or something like this. We played our show at 688. Then went out and got everybody in the crowd to come out into the street. And Charles had a drum set up on the roof. And we were out there just dancing with people. And people who were just driving by would stop and park and, what's going on, get into it. People who'd been out on partying all night, all sorts of people. I remember there was an older woman in a mink coat out there dancing. So it was a lot of fun and a chance to really do something down there at 688, which was, as I say, just a great venue for us.